Shabbat curled and drives and scores!
And the Senators win it.
Five apart, another chance, Madden to score! Great Madden to the and got it. Green! Green again, scores!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Now, before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at SensTalk_, and on Instagram at SensTalk as well. Go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code SensTalk. You'll save $20 off your first purchase. Make sure to take advantage of this great deal today as the hockey season is fast approaching. This way, you can go to a game for a cheaper price by saving $20 off your first purchase by using the promo code SensTalk. And as well, you can help us out here financially at SensTalk so we can continue to produce this great free content for you guys. So make sure to use that incredible deal today. Now, speaking of today we're going to discuss the forwards for your Ottawa Senators and preview their season. But before we get into the preview, a few housekeeping notes to discuss for this upcoming Sens Talk season. Firstly, game recaps, they are coming back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do every single game because I'm a full-time student and I have a lot of work on my hands with that. However, I'm probably going to cover at least 98% of the games. I think I may miss maybe 5 games max this year. Essentially, every single game that you watch this season, I'll have a post-game recap about. So do not worry about that. That's our bread and butter. I've been doing that for now 5 to 6 years in a row, and we're not stopping it anytime soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for another season full of game recap videos by yours truly. As well, No Luden may step in for a few of those game recaps because, like I said, I'm a full-time student. But like I said, this is our bread and butter. So the game recaps, I know I mentioned in the past that they may not be coming back. Trust me, they are staying. That was stupid of me to say. They are staying. The game recaps will be coming back this season. Now on Tuesday, tomorrow, we'll be having a defenseman season preview with lots to discuss there. Is Brandstrom going to make the team? Is Michael Dozzato going to be in the top 4? Stay tuned for that tomorrow. I'll discuss that. And then on Wednesday, the day before the puck drops for the Ottawa Senators, which is on Thursday against the Leafs. On Wednesday, I'll be putting out a goalie season preview to discuss the tandem and potentially who the third string goalie will be for the Ottawa Senators this season. Now, let's talk about your Ottawa Senators forwards. There's a very notable name missing from this group, unfortunately. It's currently Monday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and the Ottawa Senators have still yet to sign their basically captain, face of the franchise, Brady Tkachuk. He still has not signed an extension with your Ottawa Senators, and he will definitely be missing the opening night game against the Toronto Maple Leafs on Thursday, which, by the way, I will be going to. So if you're there, comment below right now. Let me know if you're there. Shout me out on Twitter, whatever. Let me know if you want to meet up. I'll definitely do that. And I'd love to say hi to my fans always. But yeah, Brady Tkachuk will not be there. I will be there on Thursday. Brady Tkachuk will not be there. And it's a damn shame that it's taken this long. I am surprised that I don't know what's holding it up. There's been rumors that Brady Tkachuk wants a shorter-term deal. There's been rumors that Ottawa's not willing to do that. I don't know what to believe anymore. But the one cold, hard truth is that Brady Tkachuk will not be there on opening night for your Ottawa Senators, which really sucks. However, I'm going to project the lineup right now for your Ottawa Senators for the season, which of course will include Brady Tkachuk. So let's get into that right now. Now, like I just mentioned, this projected lineup that I put together myself will include Brady Tkachuk. Because let's be honest, I'll put all my money on it, frankly. I do really think Brady Tkachuk will suit up for your Ottawa Senators this year. It's a matter of when, not if, he plays for Ottawa this year. But the fact of the matter is, he's not here. And what this projected lineup shows, even with Brady Tkachuk in the lineup, it shows the lack of depth in the forward core for your Ottawa Senators, especially after the broken promises from your Senator management this season. Listen, Ottawa's owner, Eugene Melnyk, said a couple years back, from 2021, which is this year, ladies and gentlemen, to 2025, the Ottawa Senators will experience levels of unparalleled success. The Senators management this offseason promised to bring in a top 6 winger and a top 6 center. Guess what? They accomplished neither. They got none brought into the lineup. They didn't bring in anyone of substance really through free agency. And that is why this forward core, which I think can produce and do well, is not as good as it was promised to be, because the Senators failed to address their top 6 needs at center, their top 6 needs at right wing. So like I just said, I think this forward group can really do well and really produce well for Ottawa this year. I just think if you're in the Ottawa Senator management and you're claiming that this team is stepping out of the rebuilding phase, I think that's putting too much pressure on a bunch of rookies and sophomore players. Right now, we should be focusing on development and getting them better for their careers, not making the playoffs. And the messaging from the organization has been very clear and simple. we are going to be a better team than we were last year. And yet they really didn't make any additions to make that happen. So I think this year for Ottawa, they're going to be a good forward core. I just think the messaging has been really off from the management. But that shouldn't put any damper on this forward core because there's a lot of talent there. So let's get to it. The first line, Brady Tkachuk, Josh Norris, and Drake Batherson. That line returns as the first line for your Ottawa Senators this year. Firstly, it's very simple. Josh Norris, he's going to be facing off against much tougher competition this year in the Atlantic Division. Guys like Barkov, Bergeron, Matthews, Braden Point, Steven Stamkos. So it's going to be a big test for Josh Norris this year to see if he can produce against these top-line centers and, of course, continue to win faceoffs. Drake Batherson, fresh off that 6-year deal. Listen, this guy can maybe score 30 goals, especially with a playmaker like Josh Norris on his center position right next to him as Drake Batherson's on the right wing. Drake Batherson doesn't just bring goals, though. Listen, Drake Batherson, he is a workhorse out there, right? He can really lay the body out there. So he's not just a guy that's floating around shooting the puck on net. This guy really lays the body, too. And then, of course, Brady Tkachuk, enough said. He was second in the league last year in shots and hits. And when he comes back to this lineup, he's going to be a menace to deal with. Game in and game out for your Ottawa Senators. You're going to find him in front of the net, parked there, trying to tip in a puck, trying to jam in a puck, do the dirty work, get the dirty goals. That's what Brady Tkachuk is, and that is what he's going to be this year for Ottawa. Second line, Tim Stützle, Shane Pinto, and Connor Brown. Listen, downtown Connor Brown, a breakout season last year for Ottawa, getting a promotion to the top 6 this year for Ottawa. Listen, in the preseason, he continued his offensive abilities. He won a gold medal for Canada. So this guy's a gold medal winner, too, with the golden goal. So listen, Connor Brown, he's an interesting player. Listen, did I expect him to be in Ottawa's top 6 this year? No. Am I happy? Maybe. Listen, it's a good opportunity for a guy like Connor Brown. I look forward to seeing what he can do. Shane Pinto in the middle, the number 2 center for your Ottawa Senators this year. Now that is really interesting. Shane Pinto in the preseason absolutely wowed every single Sens fan and management or coach. Because listen, Shane Pinto in the preseason was absolutely on fire. He started it off early against Winnipeg in overtime with a beautiful goal. He had a couple goals along the way as well, including one the other night against Montreal, against an NHL goaltender no less than Jake Allen. But Shane Pinto is such a great player. He almost won the Hobey Baker Award last year in college with North Dakota. Shane Pinto, we shouldn't put too much pressure on a kid like him, but I think him on the left wing there with Tim Stützle, who by the way looks bigger, much, much bigger, and I think he's going to have a big year, Tim Stützle. I think that's a really good second line for Ottawa that can produce and as well play well defensively because Connor Brown's a good defensive player and Shane Pinto wins nearly every single faceoff that happens with him in the hash marks. The third line, Tyler Ennis, fresh off that contract with Ottawa, Nick Paul and Alex Fermenton. Fermenton led the Senators in points in the preseason, I believe with 6 or 7 points. He's been all over the ice so far. Right now, I would probably put him in the top 6 without Brady Tkachuk in the lineup. He'll probably be in the top 6, maybe even on that first line. But with Brady Tkachuk in the lineup, I would put him on to the second or third line, probably on the third to start it off there. But Formenton with that great speed, great scoring ability now too. Watch out for this kid. This kid can fully push for that second line right wing position and bump Connor Brown down to the third line. So keep an eye on that battle there between Connor Brown and Alex Formenton. Speaking of that, Nick Paul is the center on this third line that I have projected. Nick Paul has played center before in the National Hockey League, and with the injuries that Ottawa has at the center position, Nick Paul will probably have to step in and play center there. The fourth line, Zach Sanford just acquired via trade from the St. Louis Blues. I mentioned it in a tweet the other day. I haven't really noticed Zach Sanford too much this preseason. He sort of just floats around. I haven't even noticed a big hit of his. So Zach Sanford, I'm cautiously optimistic as, hey, you know what? It's new systems, new teammates, new line mates, whatever you want to call it. It'll take a player some time to get into game shape. But yeah, he was not noticeable whatsoever in the preseason. So that's a little bit concerning for me. Now, Chris Turney will be on the fourth line. Listen, Chris Turney is a fourth line center. It's fine. I'm not his biggest fan, but on the fourth line, he's going to be just fine. All you got to do there is win faceoffs and check, and I think he can do that just fine. And then on the right wing there, I have Parker Kelly, who was just called up to just make the cap compliance here in Ottawa. We're not even at the cap ceiling. We're just making the cap floor. Thanks to Parker Kelly being called up, we're going to be able to be above the cap floor. But I think Parker Kelly on that fourth line is going to do great things. This guy is an agitator. He's a grinder. He's pesky. He's exactly what an Ottawa Senators should be. And he's a gamer, just like Nick Paul. Nick Paul, he's a hard-working guy. That's what every single player in the Ottawa Senators locker room says. A lot of them, including the coaching staff, raves and will say the same thing about Parker Kelly. So on that fourth line, I think I think he's going to do really well, and I think he can potentially even push for a center position on Ottawa's fourth line or even third line this year. Now, scratched, I have Scott Satterberg and Logan Shaw scratched. However, both of those guys are projected to be in the opening night lineup on Thursday. However, I just don't think Scott Satterberg and or Logan Shaw are better than the other options I have currently in the projected lineup. Now, who's out? Because I mentioned multiple times there's some injuries. Well, firstly, Colin White, another big-time injury for him. He's going to be out for 4 to 6 months with a shoulder injury. Tough news, tough luck. Hopefully he comes back sooner. I'm hoping for a speedy recovery for him. But he had a huge opportunity this year to potentially even steal that second-line center spot. So it really is a tough break for him. Hopefully he comes back sooner and better than ever. Clark Bishop, another center. He's out long-term potentially with an ankle injury. Not good news for Ottawa. That was supposed to be our fourth-line center, I believe. He's out. And then Austin Watson as well. He's going to be out for at least 4 weeks, which is exactly why Scott Satterberg's still around. You know how Ottawa loves to have guys that can fight. Scott Satterberg is one of those guys. Now, I went through the projected lineup. Let's discuss my players to watch for this upcoming season. Now that I projected Ottawa's forward group, here are 4 center forwards who I think can really surprise this year. Starting off with the former 3rd overall selection, Tim Stützle. Last year in 2021, he had 53 games played with 12 goals, 17 assists for 29 points. This year, obviously, as a former 3rd overall pick, we need to see some growth from Tim Stützle this year. Am I saying he needs to score 30 to 40 goals? No. But if he could score 20 goals, put in 40 to 45 points, that would be a big win in my books for Tim Stützle this year. We don't need to see huge growth, just little increments of growth every single year. And as long as he keeps on growing and developing, he's going to turn into a hell of a hockey player. Because he already is a hell of a hockey player. It's a scary thought to have that this kid is only going to get better. But he's going to get top 6 opportunities this year, top 6 minutes. And a player like Shane Pinto, who we're going to discuss in a second, I think should really help Tim Stützle produce. On top of that, he has a full year of NHL hockey under his belt. That's definitely going to help his confidence, which will turn into more playmaking abilities, more chances, not chances, but more times where Tim Stützle is going to take a chance to make a nice move, play less conservative, more liberal, as he has more experience and much more confidence with the puck going into his second National Hockey League season. Shane Pinto last year had a little bit of NHL action, playing in 12 games, getting 7 points, 6 of those were assists. As well, in college with North Dakota NCAA, he played in 28 games, getting 15 goals, 17 assists for 32 points. Now, Shane Pinto does not know how to lose faceoffs. This guy probably has a 99% face-off winning percentage. I know that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but Shane Pinto literally cannot lose face-offs. He was not able to lose face-offs in college. Last year with Ottawa at the end of the year was not losing face-offs, and so far this preseason, Shane Pinto was not losing face-offs. This guy is a face-off winning machine, and like I said, a guy like Shane Pinto with all the other attributes, this is another great attribute to have for such a talented hockey player. Now, Shane Pinto has a lot of pressure on him this year going into a top 6 spot, a top 6 center spot. Similar to, like I said, with Josh Norris earlier in the video, Shane Pinto is going to be playing against very tough competition in the Atlantic Division. You know, a team like Tampa Bay, for example, has 2 great centers, Steven Stamkos, Braden Point. Shane Pinto will have to face off against one of them most of the night against Tampa Bay, for example. So that's going to be a good challenge for Shane Pinto. I think, are we throwing him to the fray a little too early here? Maybe, but a player like Shane Pinto definitely earned this opportunity anyways to get top 6 minutes, because in this preseason he was so good, got a few goals there, and like I said in the projected lineup part of this video, Shane Pinto, he's so strong with the puck, it's impossible to knock the puck off of him. He's such a strong skater. It's impossible to get the puck off this guy, and he's a rookie. He's so confident and strong with the puck as a rookie. It really speaks volumes to how good of a player he is. Now defensively, Pinto's stick work and checking abilities are really second to none. He makes him a true complete 200-foot center, and I think Shane Pinto with his offensive abilities, great shot, great passing abilities, great patience too. That Winnipeg goal in overtime, if you don't know, make sure to check that goal out. It was an overtime goal in the preseason against Winnipeg. That patience, he circled around the offensive zone against Winnipeg multiple times. Like I said, impossible to knock him off the puck, and then ripped a bar down shot. That's what you're going to get in Shane Pinto. You're going to get patience, you're going to get expertise, skill, and precision. So Shane Pinto is going to have a big year this year, and I think, listen, if he has to play in the AHL this year, that's okay, whatever's best for his development, but I do think he's ready for the NHL. I think he's that good of a player. Next, it's going to be Alex Formenton. Alex Formenton, like I said earlier in this video, led the Senators in preseason scoring. Last year, in 20 games, he had 6 points, 4 goals. In Belleville, he had 13 games played with 4 goals as well there. Like I said, he led the Senators in preseason scoring. This kid has incredible speed, and he has an increased opportunity to get top 6 minutes this year for Ottawa as that right wing number 2 position's up for grabs. Listen, I think Connor Brown could definitely hold that position, but Alex Formenton, who is younger, who has a lot of growth to still have, and has great speed and provides some elements to a game that Connor Brown cannot. I think Formenton can sneak into that second line position there with Shane Pinto and Tim Stützle. So watch out for Alex Formenton. You know, I know he's going to whiz by you because he's a fast guy, he's a fast skater, but watch out for Alex Formenton, seriously, because I think this kid has never really been spoken about enough. He's always been in the mix here in Ottawa the last few years, and I think this is a year he's going to really break out and be a top 6 forward. Next and last but not least, Parker Kelly. Last year, he had 1 game play in the National Hockey League with a goal. Congrats to him. In the AHL last year, he had 20 games played. In those 28 games, he had 12 points. 7 of those were goals. He's one of Ottawa's hardest working forwards. He can easily steal a bottom 6 center spot, I think, this year, especially with all the injuries at center for Ottawa. He brings a lot of peskiness and grittiness to Ottawa's bottom 6, which Ottawa's coaching staff will absolutely love. But Parker Kelly, listen, the story of Parker Kelly is incredible. If you haven't already, go to The Athletic, read Ian Mendes' piece on this kid. He basically started at a really, really late age playing hockey, didn't get drafted, got offered an opportunity to come to camp for Ottawa, got an entry-level deal, and now he's going to be playing National Hockey League games for the Ottawa Senators. This kid is an absolute great story. This kid has absolute great work ethic, and I think that's exactly what you want in your bottom 6. So Parker Kelly's going to have a great year. Now, after that, let's discuss real quick the depth that Ottawa has in regards to call-ups from the AHL. Igor Sokolov comes to mind. I think he needs some more seasoning in the AHL, but he's a guy that can definitely come in and fill a few games here and there for Ottawa if need be. Agazino is a center that Ottawa definitely will probably have to call up at some point this year. He has some NHL experience, and then Pontus Aberg as well. Has a lot of NHL experience. He's a good winger to be called up as well. Now that is it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for stopping by. Let me know in the comment section down below right now who you think will break out for Ottawa in their forward core, who you think Ottawa's best forward will be, everything. Comment below your predictions, your thoughts, everything. I look forward to reading and responding to all the comments down below. Besides that, thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video, share this video with cool stuff, and most importantly of all, turn that red button down there, make it gray, and subscribe to us, and as well, turn the notification bell on so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. Besides that, thank you for watching. I'm going to see you tomorrow for the Ottawa Senators defensive season preview. So I'll see you tomorrow for the defenseman season preview. Go Sens, go.